What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live, where we try to help you deal with whatever you are dealing with so you can live your best life. Now, I'm Jeff Marconette Jr., your host and international Make Every Second Count speaker, and I am very excited about tonight because we have somebody that was just involved in my panel discussion that I had during my virtual event this weekend. So we have Cemone Rowe tonight, but I ask you first of all, if you would please share this video out, invite all kinds of people to watch this video because they'll be able to learn something from it and hopefully you can as well. And we ask you, hit that thumbs up, hit that heart button, because that's going to help us break the algorithm. All right, so I'd like to introduce you to Cemone Rowe. Hi, Symone. How
Hi,
are you
Jen.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic. Hey, while I'm going to have you introduce yourself, so I'm going to tell you to tell the audience your name, where you're from, what you do, and more importantly, why you do what you do. And I'm going to be inviting some people. So I am paying attention. I'm just not looking at the screen.
Okay, awesome. So, hi everyone. My name is Symone Rowe. I was born and raised in Jamaica, Montego Bay, Jamaica to be precise. I now live in Toronto, Canada. Uh, whew, what do? I do a lot of things. Um, First of all, I am an author. This is my first book. You Are Not Alone, A Mother's Journey.
Woo!
Um, I'm also a business owner. I just launched my first business in the pandemic. It's called the Unstoppable Movement. Um, I'm also a humanitarian. I have dedicated my life basically to just help other people because I believe that we are put on this earth to serve others versus just taking, right? So
Yeah.
I am a person that loves to help others. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to helping others. I'm a mother, single mother to be precise, and I'm a grieving mother. And going into the topic that we're going to discuss today, it's a very touchy topics, right? But it's also very beneficial. So if you have friends and family who have gone through depression, who have gone through the loss of a child, who have had issues with themselves, loving themselves, um, just pretty much struggling with anything whatsoever, just invite them because I guarantee you that they're gonna learn something, and not only that, but they're gonna be encouraged, they're gonna be inspired, and they're gonna be motivated. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. So I know we're going to be talking about three different things you have gone through in your life. And I know from discussing with you that you've gone through a lot in your life. You've had to deal with a lot. And that is crazy that you've had to deal with so much because you're a young lady
Yes.
and that's just a lot on your young shoulders. So if you would like to jump into your first one, I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Okay, so it's funny how you say I'm young, but I have so much on my shoulder. It is very accurate, but like at one point I was always questioning why I go through so much, but I've come to a place in my life now where I'm thankful because now I can be of help to others. Your experience allow you to help other people, right? So the first one is basically depression. right? So I know that depression can be a very sensitive thing for people, because a lot of people don't like to talk about the fact that they have experienced it or if they're going through it. Um, I was like that for a long time in my life, but I realized that one of the key thing to or one of the steps to go to overcome depression is basically talking about it, right? It is not it's not good to keep things in. You're just gonna be hurting yourself even more. So with that being said, I would encourage anyone who is watching, or if you know somebody who have gone through depression, or is going through depression, to encourage them to talk about it, right? They can journal if they like, but the whole thing is that getting the things out, right? Don't allow it to destroy you. So as Jeff mentioned earlier, I've gone through many things in my life, but I believe that the one thing that really took me out was the death of my son. That journey with my son, that is what really took me to a whole nother level. I've experienced depression before, and if any of you guys know about depression, you know that there's different stages to depression. There's different levels to depression. It's not just depression. Depression has different levels, right? And I was in the severe kind, like the worst possible kind that you can think. And you might be wondering what causes me to reach that stage. Um, First of all, let's just begin at the beginning, like start at the very beginning of what happened. So I got pregnant in 2019, and I learned that my son was diagnosed with anencephaly. For those of you who are watching who may not know what that means, it means that the brain and the skull was not developed the way that it was supposed to develop. So with this news now, I was going through a mental breakdown per se, and I was in shock. I was in a panic mood, right? I reached out to some family, I reached out to some friends, I even reached out to the father of the baby. But unfortunately, no one came through for me. The father walked away, family and friends were not there to support me. And being pregnant with this kind of news, anyone who has gone through something like this or have experienced anything similar to this will tell you that it can take a hold on you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that's exactly what took place in my life. I was hurt by the news, plus, I had my other two children that I was taking care of. So the pressure of now being pregnant with a news that was so heartbreaking, plus taking care of my other two children, it took a hold on me mentally and emotionally. And that's what leads me into depression, because I did not have a support system in place. I didn't have anybody to turn to. It just took me out. I was going through a stage in my life that I never experienced before. But I thank God that I overcome it. But not only that, I learned from it. I learned something from it. And now I'm using the knowledge that I have to try and help others who are going through something similar. It is not easy to go through depression. It is important for you to have a support system in place. It is important for you to talk about what you are feeling, and you have to know the signs of depression, because a lot of people, they are going through it, but they don't know that they're actually going through it. They think it's normal. They think it's just a phase, right? But you have to catch it when it's like early, so that you don't go deep into it, because it can actually destroy you. It can actually like lead you into like suicidal thoughts, or even much worse, right? So it is so important for us to know the signs of depression, and also to have a support system in place. That is extremely important.
If if I may for a minute, if we have some people out there, and I'd like to say hi to some people first of
Okay,
all.
no problem.
So hi Megan, hi Mary Lynn, hi Diana, hi Jessica, hi Sarah, hi Brittany, hi Nicole. And I hope you guys are all, oh, hi Ben Bruce too. Good to see you guys tonight. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. But in the comments, I would like to know if anybody here has ever dealt with depression, and what was the biggest sign that you recognized. And we're going to go through the signs of depression, but what's the biggest sign that you discovered in your life? All right, you can go ahead, Simone.
Answering that question.
No, no, I was
Oh, you're waiting
hoping,
on them.
yeah,
Oh,
but
you're asking the audience.
yeah, but you can go ahead and tell them the signs.
Okay, so based on my experience, some of the signs of depression is like loss of interest. Like you don't want to do anything, you just want to isolate yourself, you just want to be by yourself, right? Another one is loss of appetite. Like you don't want to eat anything, you just feel like, oh, you just don't have no appetite for anything. You don't want to eat, you don't want to drink. Like sometimes you can't even sleep. Um, I believe there's a lot of different signs, but those are some of the ones that actually like affected me personally. Like I was like I was afraid to ask for help. And because of that, I would isolate myself because I just feel like people were gonna judge me and people were gonna criticize me because the people that I was reaching out to, they weren't there for me. I feel like they were actually judging me on some level. And that makes me even more afraid to ask for help from other people, which is out of my circle. Because you're more comfortable in your circle. And when you're not getting that support in your circle, then you feel as if you go out there outside of your circle, you're still not gonna get the support. So I mean, like, I want to encourage anyone that's watching that it's very important that when you see certain things that is happening, and some of the other signs are you're always sad or you're always crying. Sometimes you're crying without even a reason. Like you just cry, cry, cry. Like it's okay to cry, but if you know that you're doing it constantly, like constantly crying, 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 and you're always feeling down, you're always feeling sad, it's like you can't even get out of bed in the morning and so forth. Those are our signs of depression that you can look out for. And even in your friends and family, if it has not affected you personally, you can look for it in friends and family because a lot of times, if we know the signs um, that leads to depression, we can help a lot of people in our circle, in our life, to not go into major depression or severe depression. We can catch it early and then we can help them through it.
Catch it early and help them through it. All right, cool. I'm taking some notes here.
I also have a quote from my book that I would like to read if that's okay.
Yes, go for it.
So this is the book that I wrote um after my son passed away, my experience of fighting severe depression, my experience of almost losing my life due to severe depression. I told you it can be very serious if we are not in contact with like the support that we need, and if we don't take care of it from early, it can actually lead to death. Like people can commit suicide from depression if it goes too far. So it's very
That's
important. So
that's
this is what it's called. You Are Not Alone, A Mother's Journey. Very powerful book for anyone who is struggling emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Very powerful. So this is the quote that I wrote in there. It says, Don't be afraid to seek help when you need it. Instead, be more afraid to suffer in silence because that will surely destroy you in the end. By Symone Rowe. So that's the quote that I put in my book. And what this is really saying, as I mentioned earlier, don't be afraid to seek help when you know that like you're in a situation where you feel like you're not able to do it by yourself anymore, right? You know that it is it is too much for you. Don't be afraid to seek help because there is help. There is good people in the world, but our mentality will tell us that if we reach out, nobody's not going to help us, but that's not true. People will help us, but you have to ask. Sometimes people don't know what you're going through. You have to take initiative to seek the help that you need and be cautious as to where you seek it. For me, as a faith-based person, as a spiritual person, I usually pray before I go and do anything. But if you're not a faith-based person, you just basically use your instinct. Your instincts are always right. I believe. You like your spirit, it aligns. Do you get what I mean? So even if you're not a spiritual person, you just take caution and just follow your instinct. Like if something doesn't feel right, then don't go with it.
Awesome. So, what if somebody notices these signs of depression? What can they do about that?
If it's happening to them or to someone else.
Either or.
I would say like if you recognize these signs in yourself, right, you can seek professional help, which is like a counselor, a therapist, or anyone that is in the field where they can help you. You can also seek family support. There's some family that are very good on those support level, but you have to know what works for you. You don't let anybody tell you what is best for you. You know and you choose what is best for you. If it's in somebody else rather than yourself, then your approach is everything. Like, you're not gonna go to them and tell them that, oh, something is wrong with you. They already know that. They don't want to be reminded that something is wrong with them. They already know that. They know what they're going through. You don't need to remind them. Your words and your approach, it is extremely important. One of the things that I realize with a lot of people that goes through depression is that they just need a listening ears. You don't need to go and tell them the whole world about everything else. Like, just be there for them to talk to. And once they're comfortable with you, then more likely, like I'm saying, like a big percentage of time, a lot of times when you listen to them and they know that this person is here for me, they will trust you and they will open up to you. And not only that, but they will kind of be open to whatever you suggest. But if you go at them in a very defensive way or a very aggressive way, sometimes they will just withdraw because they will feel like they're being attacked rather than you being there to support them. So the approach is extremely important, and what you say to them is extremely important as well.
All right, that's cool. So, how? All right. So, how can you? All right. What advice would you give somebody that is suffering with depression?
My advice is to seek the help that you need. Don't go through it by yourself because you don't have to go through it by yourself, but work with your own timing. Don't push it, don't rush it. Work with your own timing, but don't try to go through it by yourself. It's so funny that you said this because recently I had a friend that was going through depression, and one of the things that she did was she withdraw from everyone. Like literally, we could not reach her, and we have to understand that when people love you, whatever you're going through, they're also going through it too, you know. And when you're hurting, they're hurting as well, right? So we want to be there for you, but you have to allow us to be there for you, right?
Yeah,
We can force our way in, which we're not supposed to, because that will allow people to even withdraw more, right?
yeah,
So if you're going through something that is more than you and you know that it's too much, find someone who you can trust. If there's nobody in your life that you can trust, then you seek professional help.
yeah. That's great advice. Now, I'd like to say hi to Brenda Ringwood and hi to Mr. Greg Dillon. And Brenda says here that depression comes in different forms. So, is depression different for each and every person, or is it the same for each and every person?
I can't determine what it looks like for someone else because I can only speak for myself. But I know that there is different way, like there's a lot of things that can lead to depression, right? It's not one thing, it's not two things, it's a lot of different things that can lead to it, right? But in the farms, I believe that um you like depression doesn't have a face, because like we can't really look at a person per se and say that that person is depressed, because sometimes you just can't tell, right? So I guess that's where she's coming from. Like some people you can look and you can see that something is wrong, but then there's some people that you could be with them for the whole day and you don't even know that they're depressed, because they know how to hide their pain, they know how to hide what they're going through, right?
Yeah,
So they'll be smiling with you. I can say this because I was one of those people. When I was facing my depression, nobody didn't know that I was going through depression. So when they find out what I was going through, they were shocked, because I was always the kind of person that's laughing. I'm always the kind of person that's, encouraging. I'm always the kind of person. I'm this energetic person. So even when I'm going through something, a lot of people don't know, because I still have a smile on my face regardless, right?
yeah, yeah,
And I believe that's where she's coming from, in the sense of farms. You can't really tell. This is why I always say to people, it is very important how you treat people, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know the battle that they're fighting.
yeah.
So you can either help a person out of what they're going through, or you can put them deeper into what they're going through. So it's so important. Use kind words to people, because you never know. The person who you're sitting beside in the train, the person who you see at work, that person could be fighting depression and you don't even know.
Exactly right. So I think it's very important that we be kind to each and every person out there. I know the golden rule is do unto others as you want done to you. That
Amen to that.
that might not be exactly. Don't quote me on that, but
Yeah, that's what it says. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. You're
all right,
correct.
all right, cool. Well, thank you, and I just feel that a lot of people need to go back to that golden rule. They need
Hmm.
to get back to using that golden rule because we treat so many people in the world today so poorly. And it's just so important that because like you said, you don't know what other people are going through.
Exactly.
And like you said, you've lost a child. That's probably the worst thing on this planet. I myself have been in a car accident. I was in a coma for 2.5 months.
Oh my God.
But people wouldn't notice those things. You
unless
don't,
unless you tell them.
yeah, they don't notice your scars, and each and every person has a scar.
That's right.
And it might be visible, it might not, but you have to treat them all like you see their scar. You have to
Exactly.
treat them all with kindness, with love.
I agree.
Yeah. So I thank you so much for joining me tonight. Dang, I just told me that Val Lynn, Chuck Black, and Kelly Shu are watching too. So we thank you guys so much, and we ask you if you'd hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure you're following me because I'm here every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time where we talk to people trying to help you guys through whatever you are dealing with. But again, I'm Jeff Marconette Jr. and she is Symone Rowe. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you gained value from this. But I need you and Symone to do me a favor. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey guys, I'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Till then,
Thank you
make
so
every
much.
second count.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you for taking the time out of your night.
Okay, bye guys.